West Brom were a staple of the Premier League throughout my childhood and teenage years, but this year marks half a decade since they were last in the Premier League. Not only that, they find themselves genuinely in a relegation battle with potential to drop down to the 3rd division this year. That just doesn't sit right for me. Today, I'm taking control. We're heading to the Hawthorns and we're going to make West Bromwich Albion a Premier League club once again and eclipse anything they've ever done and make them European champions. So as we take over, here is a look at this West Bromwich side, and there are really massive pros and massive cons with this team. For the most part, our overalls are very consistent. So many players in the low 70s, high 60s. But the thing that is a huge challenge, so many of our key players don't have much room to grow. We're going to have to gut a large chunk of this squad and get a young core back in West Brom. And for me, it is important that we just hit the ground running from the jump. Get that young core into the squad, know where we want to improve so that we can be good for the future, but also get up to the Premier League as quickly as possible. And for me, right midfield screams out as an area where we need to get a superstar. I've gone for the American youngster, Quinn Sullivan, older brother of the wonder kid, Caden Sullivan, which is crazy, but we're bringing him across from Philadelphia. When it came to Griffith, though, we really had options. I was tempted to give him the starting goalkeeper role, but I think he's just too low rated and has too low potential for it to really work. But I am going to loan him out 2 years in the Bundesliga. But this is where some of the more established names at West Brom are leaving the club. Carlin Grant, 31 years of age, going to Udinese. Jed Wallace, absolutely been there for so long. Jed Wallace heading to Turkey, and Alex Mowat is going to be heading to the Dutch League. This was a controversial one. Daryl DK, the American, going to Sheffield United. Definitely could have been a universe where we used him for a year or two, but ultimately a new young striker is on the menu for us. I'm really happy with this signing right here, though. We're going to sign ourselves the type of goalkeeper that gets you promoted to the Premier League. Mads Hermansen, unable to solidify himself as the starting goalkeeper for West Ham rather, in the Premier League. So he's joining in a different West. Mads Hermansen joining us from West Ham for 6 mil. The young Jordanian attacking midfielder Tamir Bani heading to Portugal for the year. Here we go, fellas. New striker of the future has been sourced. We've had to go to the French league to get him. It is the Brazilian Emerson joining us from Toulouse, 3.4 mil. So the overall of the squad hasn't changed too much besides Hermansen, but I'm very happy with the position we are in for this first year. The foundations have been laid. Still more work to do. Defense will get some upgrades here soon, but I'm curious to see how season 1 starts with West Brom. Hopefully nowhere near the relegation battle. This is more like it, lads. 1st of January, we sit 6th. We currently hold the final spot in the playoffs, but Ipswich, Norwich, Coventry, so many teams breathing down our necks. We could lose a game and be mid-table. On the flip side, we could still get ourselves, maybe not to Leicester, but automatic spots are not out of contention. I'm happy with how the squad is looking right now, though, so I'm going to see if it is enough to get us up to the Premier League. Going to be silent in this January window. Oh, that is humbling. That is actually humbling. We have finished. We've dropped down to 14th. The dream of promotion has been just absolutely ripped away. What was looking like a great season now turns into a pretty mediocre one, but we didn't get relegated. The teams getting relegated, Middlesbrough with a stinker. Sheffield Wednesday almost overturned their points deduction, but they go down alongside Portsmouth and Charlton. Going up, it's going to be Ipswich, bro. Ipswich were behind us. Ipswich with an insane second half of the season. They go up alongside Leicester. Arsenal win the FA Cup. Man City the Carabao. But it will be Hull going up to the Premier League. That would be nice to see Hull back in the Prem. For these early seasons, I'm interested mostly in this. Josh Mayer with a pretty decent season. Josh Mayer. Emerson, though, that's what I'm after. Decent year for him, +3 growth. Mikey Johnson, unbelievable season. Kind of sad that he's 27. If he was the same age as Quinn Sullivan, who goes up to a 75, then I'd be feeling so good. Losing some men at the end of the season, though, who return to their parent clubs. All in all, not too bothered about that. But, season 1, feeling out the lay of the land. Season 2, we need direct focus on getting promoted to the Prem. Nothing like a little bit of Midlands controversy to start season number 2. We've found ourselves a new centre-back, a guy that I think can help get us to the Premier League. On paper, this is a brilliant signing. The controversial part is that we signed Bobby Thomas from Coventry. Definitely going to spice things up, but I'm happy with the signing. 74 overall, 25 years of age, still some room to grow. Bobby Thomas, welcome to West Bromwich Albion. I was hoping to sell Max O'Leary permanently, but he only wanted a loan move, so the 29-year-old goalkeeper is heading to Strasbourg for 2 years. On the contrary, somebody that I did want to sell and actually wanted to go permanently, it is Nat Phillips heading to the Premier League with Ipswich. I am trying to fully absolutely revolutionize this back line though, trying to get big upgrades. So for me, that means selling Bielik and selling Metham. We've gotten rid of Bielik. He's going to link up with Cesc Fabregas at Como. And the Welshman Chris Metham off to La Liga. Let's go get ourselves a new centre back. I am over the moon with this one. We went into some pretty serious negotiations with Manchester United to make it happen. I've had to put in a pretty hefty sell-on clause. That's because Michael Carrick and Manchester United recognize how good of a talent Aiden Heaven is. But with all that being said, we now have an all-English centre-back duo, Bobby Thomas and Aiden Heaven, a mega signing, somebody that I want to put big resources in to make him a club legend. Aiden Heaven joining us from Man United for 8 mil. Bit of work on the squad depth though to round out the transfer window. The Irish right midfielder Franco Ume joining us permanently from Portsmouth. Some could argue maybe I should have tried getting a new striker and a young striker, but I still think we can squeeze enough out of Josh Mayer to get us up to the Premier League. The squad is growing. Hermanson at a 79 is beautiful. Heaven's gone up to a 76 and Thomas has gone up to a 75. That is a great omen. Can we get West Brom back to the Prem? Not only have we got promoted, we have won the championship with West Brom and we have absolutely destroyed the rest of the league. 107 points, 96 goals. Bro, we were 10 points clear of Sunderland and almost 20 clear of Southampton. That is beautiful. Finally, West Bromwich Albion are heading to the Premier League. Oh my god, bro. Wolves have missed out on the playoffs. That is crazy. Relegated, though, are going to be Blackpool, Oxford, Plymouth. The FA Cup goes to Newcastle, the Carabao to Arsenal, and Sheffield United winning the championship playoffs on a penalty shootout. They will be joining us in the Prem. This right here, this is such, I feel so vindicated right now. Josh Mayer, the Golden Boot winner in the championship this year. 29 goals, 27 for Emerson. And bro, Mikey Johnson is putting up freakish numbers, but unfortunately he's not getting the growth. We might need to look at upgrading him for next year. Same with Mayer. That is so annoying though. Two of our best players not getting the growth. Isaac Price definitely is though. Bobby Thomas already at a 78. Oh my god, I'm feeling so good about what we've done this year. Josh Griffiths returning from his loan spell, 71, and this is crazy, bro. I promise you, I've got the normal growth things. I didn't glitch the game or anything. Mads Hermansen exceeding my wildest expectations. But season 3, a brand new challenge. Let's make sure we stay up in the Prem with West Brom. That £50 million heading the bank account after getting promoted to the Premier League just hits different. And we need to make sure we are using it to the best of our powers to make sure we are not even in with a sniff of the relegation zone. I think these next few signings are going to be crucial. I have 3 positions that are guarantees, must upgrades. The first is going to be the defensive midfield role. We've got ourselves an Englishman with Premier League experience. It is 22-year-old Jack Hinchelwood joining us from Brighton. And look, for as good as Josh Mayer has been for us from a very black and white perspective, I think we need ourselves an upgraded goalkeeper if we're going to upgraded striker rather if we're going to stay up. So I've gone for the Croatian striker Matija Frigan, 17.5 mil to bring him across from Parma. But to help finance our new final signing, I'm going for a left midfielder and I want to make a splash. So I'm going to sell on a couple of players. Joe Wildsmith, the 820k is not going to do too much, but it all adds up eventually. And for as romantic we can be about how good Josh Mayer has been for us and how nice it would have been to have him as a backup striker option, I just couldn't say no to £7.5 million for him. So the Nigerian striker is sending his next chapter in the Bundesliga. No surprises to see Jason Malumbi sold permanently. I'm really happy with this deal though. We have pulled off a financially responsible signing at the left midfield role. We've got a great price, which means we can keep Mikey Johnson in the squad for the year. We are upgrading at the left midfield role. Samuel Mbangalu, the Belgian left midfielder signing on from Werder Bremen. I was going to say, if that wasn't an A rating, I don't know what would be. We got him for about £5 million under his market value. Mikey Johnson up to a 75. I would like to, I'll see if I can renegotiate his contract, but we are going to bring him off the transfer list. I mean, let's see if he'll take rotation. He still wants important. All right, I'm going to end negotiations and see if I can renegotiate that later. I just don't want him being upset, you know? I don't think it's ridiculous for me to say that this team should be nowhere near the relegation zone. Yes, players like Styles, we will be upgrading in the near future. Gilchrist has to step things up a little bit, but for the most part, This team is solid, bro. Some players are going to have to do heavy lifting, but I am praying that we are nowhere near the relegation zone. Let's get to January, see how West Brom's looking. Although, to be fair, our budget is not good right now, so even if we are near the relegation zone, we kind of have to rely on what we've already done. It's not great, is it? I mean, mathematically, they say you need 40 points to survive. We are basically halfway there with 19. But yeah, we are absolutely entrenched in this relegation battle. Luckily, Sheffield United are stinking up the joint and haven't got a single win all year. But we are 4 points ahead of Bournemouth. But then luckily, I mean, we're also like 4 points away from mid-table Man United. The timing couldn't be any better though, because on the 1st of January, we have a relegation 6-pointer away down south against Bournemouth. This is either... Oh my God, bro. This is either going to get us so much closer to safety or get us right in the middle of the battle. It's a scoreless draw. That's kind of anticlimactic. Gets in there, comfortably surviving relegation. We figured out in the second half of the season. We do probably need to figure out the defense a little more, though. 60 goals conceded definitely hurt us. 44 points, though. Fulham go down on 33, so we ended up being 11 points clear. Fulham, Ipswich, Sheffield United had a way better second half of the year. But to be fair, all I wanted was just to survive at relegation. Got to think about climbing up the Premier League table. Everton in 7th, whilst Arsenal win the league. Man City win the FA Cup. I haven't really been paying too much attention for our cup runs because I've been so focused on results. And I mean, we went out in the 3rd round, but it would be nice if we could start to go on some cup runs now that we're trying to, you know, hopefully get ourselves into some version of European football. Speaking of European football, England dominating the Champions League. Inter Milan win the Europa League, whilst the Conference League goes to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Dude, Emerson is a tank. 15 goals, it's not like lighting the world on fire, but in a relegation side, I'm very happy with that. With the rest of the squad, I guess we're going to get better as it goes on because we are a relegation battler right now, but I'm not too pumped with how the season panned out. I mean, we're still getting decent development because end of the day, we just wanted to survive relegation, but got to think about the future. Luckily, since the new patch, though, we haven't been getting screwed over with the contracts, and I don't think we've lost anybody to a free transfer, and I'm hoping that that can continue. Although players like Williams, to be fair, I probably won't be renewing their contracts. It only took EA like 5 months to figure out the contract situation, though. Sick. The brutal reality of the second season in the Premier League is that your budget gets cut almost in half. I'm going to have to sell some players. Luckily, there's only one major move I want to make to the starting 11. To be fair, I didn't necessarily want to sell Hegebo, our backup striker, but he wanted out, so the extra 4 mil helps. 2 years later than I initially expected, but Max O'Leary's back from his loan spell and we've finally got him out. Not a crazy amount of money, but he's heading up to Middlesbrough. This right here is the move I wanted us making, though. This is where we're going to make the big upgrade, and that is the left back position. Callum Styles sold permanently to Brentford. That allows us to splash the cash on our first signing of the season at the left back role. It is going to be the Senegalese defender El Hadji Diouf, 82 overall, 23 years of age, a big time pickup from Eintracht Frankfurt. Bit of work is needed though on the squad depth, so I'm going to sign a second left back, Jacob Farrell, the Aussie from Portsmouth. Bro, I went to sign Ronnie Edwards as a backup centre back from QPR. He's 75 rated, 4 overall less than Thomas and 5 less than Heaven. Why the hell does he expect himself to be important? For that reason, I'm ending negotiations. Instead, bringing in somebody who seems to actually know their role. It is the Englishman Max Cleworth from Wrexham. And I suppose because of the player departure earlier in the season, we probably need to get ourselves a new backup striker, which is why we are signing Dutchman Milan Smit from the Go Ahead Eagles. Youth coming into the squad bumps it up so much more. The thing I love about this team, everybody's growing together. Like everybody besides like Gilchrist and Hermansen are like the 2 outliers. Everybody else, 80, 81, 82. The rising tide truly lifting all ships in this West Brom team. But can it lift us to the next chapter of this rebuild? Can we make a push for European football here in Season 4? Yeah, we are. We are in the hunt. All right, this is good. 1st of January, 4 losses. The draws are killing us, but we are taking the next step. Only 4 points out of the top 4. Teams breathing down our neck, but I think we need to be making that push for at least Europa League. We currently have negative 85,000 pounds in our bank account though, so we will not be doing any bid. I feel like I've done very limited business in January this entire video, which I guess is probably a good thing because it means I'm actually doing good business in the summers. Although to be fair, I think it's just because I'm spending our entire budget in the summers. It's a little annoying. We definitely fell away from the pack there in the second half of the season. 8th place maybe gets us Conference League, but I'm not super confident. Chelsea pip us on goal difference though, which is so annoying. Oh, we're at this point of the rebuild now where it just gets slow moving. We need to get ourselves up into some sort of European football to take it to the next level, bro. Liverpool win the Premier League, Man United in 12th, Burnley, Southampton and Leeds go down. Brentford win the FA Cup. Oh my God, we got Thomas off Coventry earlier in the rebuild, but now they beat us in the FA Cup. Man City beat Cardiff in the the Carabao Cup final rather. Bro, that feels like such a missed opportunity. How the hell are we losing to Fleetwood Town in the quarterfinals? Bro, we would have been versing, Cardiff in a semi-final. That is a huge L. PSG win the Champions League, Juventus win the Europa League, and Maybe Everton winning the Conference League, although they'd go up to the Europa League. I feel like that might screw us up though. That being said though, Emerson has absolutely gone off. Our two strikers stepping up, both at an 83 overall now, but Emerson the star of the show, our golden boot winner. Our attack is absolutely flying. Diouf up to an 84. Like, this team is in a really good position. Bobby Thomas up to an 81. I will say Samuel Mbargulu isn't necessarily lighting the world up. Mads Hermansen has stalled a little bit here as well. 5 clean sheets for the season. 83 overall. Although him being a goalkeeper does give him, it affords him a lot more time. The streak of losing nobody on a free though has officially come to an end. George Campbell refusing to sign a new contract, going to Argentina on a free, whilst Alex Williams, I'm okay with letting him go. Moment of truth though, fellas, are we going to be afforded a spot in the Conference League or not? Okay, so I'm going to keep it a pretty tame opening summer window. I'm going to make one signing and I'm going to sell potentially just one player. There are certain parts of the squad where I want to make a more informed call come January, but I know we want to get an upgrade at the centre back role. Leopold Kjærfield, the Austrian defender, will be our new star man at the back line with Aiden Heaven rather. Kjærfield joining us for 30 mil from Union Berlin. From there, we're finally going to sell Mikey Johnson. He's got 12 months remaining on his contract. This is the peak of his powers. He's 31. We can get a good price for him. He deserves to have more game time. He's heading to Turkey for just shy of 9 mil. And following the signing of Kjærfield, I'm also going to cash in on Bobby Thomas. He's been pretty good for us. We got more out of him than I expected, but again, I think it makes sense for us to sell him right now. The Englishman staying in the Premier League, heading south though to Brighton. And being able to get 30 mil for him is really good. That does leave us a healthy amount in the budget to get work done in January. And I say that because if I'm being honest, Gilchrist and Sullivan, both 25, both 81 overall. They're starting to lag behind the squad. I think I'm going to be upgrading. It's honestly a battle between those two right now to see which way we go. But as a whole, I'm incredibly happy with the squad. I'm almost annoyed that we're not in the Champions League because I genuinely think we have a squad that could at least give it a good go. But unfortunately, we're not in the Conference League either. That means we have no excuses not to absolutely go all out in the Premier League this year. Is this actually a piss take? We are 1 point clear of the relegation zone right now. I had hopes of getting top 4 this year. We are 16th with West Brom. Hull, Sunderland, Aston Villa. Bro, please if we can go on a run, we're 18 points out of the top 4. This is a disaster. Honestly, I was wondering if I was going to sell Sullivan or Gilchrist. I'm putting both of them on the transfer list. We need big moves here in January. Oh my God, lad. Okay, Gilchrist is out of here. We've sold him to Manchester United for 25 mil. With some pretty tight fixture congestion, we're going to work hard to get his replacement in immediately. I found myself a regen player that has come up here, an American that looks like an absolute stud. 21 years of age, 84 overall, American Sean Wright joining us from Monaco. Now we wait to see if we can get an offer in for Sullivan. All right, there we have it, lads. Quinn Sullivan has been sold officially. I'm so shocked that we're even in this position, but let's go get ourselves a new right mid. This is a fortune changer. If we are in a relegation battle with Amari Hutchinson, I am going to be shocked. 84 overall, 24 years of age. He's had some time away in Italy. We've signed him from Lazio, but he is the man who is going to change fortunes at the Hawthorns. Amari Hutchinson, big money, 44 mil. Oh, I have such conflicting emotions right now. We have had a significantly better half of the season, and we end up finishing 8th. But that is so annoying because our slow start to the season has cost us massively, gone from relegation battlers to 8th position. If we don't start so poor, we maybe push for a Champions League spot. That is unbelievably annoying, but end of the day, 8th position for the 2nd straight year. Oh my god, we got 56 points. We ended up finishing well away from the relegation zone. Bournemouth win the FA Cup. We went out frustratingly to Middlesbrough in the round of 32. No, round of 16. Arsenal win the Carabao Cup. Oh, I'm telling you, this has just been such a disappointing video in terms of our cup performances. Liverpool win the Champions League, Como win the Europa League, and Utrecht win the Conference League. But to be honest, I am annoyed with how slow we are developing through this Premier League era. This is very uncharacteristic. Emerson, a shining light, 86 overall, 28 goal contributions. Same thing, Mattia Friggin gets himself 19. Isaac, these three we're not worried about. It seems to be the defense that is causing us issues. So many games I saw, we lost like 4-3. Maybe we need to have a conversation about some of our defenders. Overall wise, our defense is absolutely brilliant. To be fair, Hinchelwood, someone that I thought we wouldn't have had any issues with, really starting to lag behind. There was never a reality where I offered Soule or Wallace another contract. Both of them going to be expiring. Need to probably put a good amount of money reinvested back into the squad depth next year though. There will be no experimentation this year. There will be no sitting around and waiting and seeing what happens in the first half of the season. We cannot afford another slow start to the season like we had last year. I'm going in and I'm getting our business done quick smart. And that is going to be beginning with the signing of a Japanese defensive midfielder. It is 84 rated Kodai Sano from the Dutch league. Followed immediately by a focus on our reserves, on our stock. English attacking midfielder Michael Golding joining us from Leicester. Whilst the Australian defender Panagiatos Kikianis joins us from Adelaide United. Only a few moves I want to make on the departure side though. Trying to slowly rise the base overall of the squad. So 63, 24-year-old Ollie Bostock has to go. And obviously with Sano coming in, Hinchelwood isn't going to be our starting defensive midfielder, but I'm not prepared to sell him permanently. I'm going to loan him out. He's going to go to Atletico Madrid for the year. Let's see how that pans out. I've said it once, I'll say it again. It is so damn important for us to get off to a good start this year. Champions League has to be the goal. The fact that we have this good of a squad and haven't finished higher than 8th is a disgrace. There's no European football. There are no distractions. Get the job done, lads. Oh, this team feels cursed. This West Brom team feels cursed. Yes, we finished higher than 8th, but we have finished 5th. We're going to the Europa League next year, but we finished 3 points outside of the top 4. 7 points off 2nd place. Oh, we weren't close to the title, but bro, finishing 5th is cruel. We finish above Liverpool, Newcastle, some big clubs. Relegated, though, are going to be QPR, Sheffield United, and Nottingham Forest. That is a silver lining, although I would have rather been on the Brighton end of the stick. We win the FA Cup 3-2 over Brighton. But Brighton's going to the Champions League. We're not. Man City have won the Carabao Cup, and Man City have also won the Champions League. Sporting win the Europa League, whilst Frankfurt win the Conference League. Bro, we better win the Europa League next year. At least it's another path of potential entry to a Champions League. The same as almost every year though. Strikers and attacking midfielders are getting the job done. There are definitely some big questions to ask in other areas of the park. Zero growth for Hinchelwood. I might just bring him back and see if we can renegotiate him to be a solid backup for Sano. But we're going to have to add some more depth to the squad. Akil Higgins and Franco Ume refusing to sign new contracts. It's not Champions League, but bring on life in European football. This has been one of the most challenging rebuilds we have done in recent memory, but I feel like we've finally cracked a big moment here. We get into some sort of European football, and that's affected our budget massively. We have the money to focus on bringing superstar players into our starting 11, and that is exactly what we're going to do right now at the left midfield position. This might be a club record transfer, but it is Bouzamana Toure joining us from Hoffenheim. 86 overall, still in his mid-20s. This dude could be a star. Actually, not could be. He is a star. Now, I do still want to make some big moves in this window, but for now, I'm just going to go in and get a minor squad depth signing. At the right back role, Sam Curtis joining us from Sheffield United. I am also happy to admit that Hinchelwood has come back from his loan and his squad role has been updated to a rotational. I mean, bro, Sano hasn't grown as much as I hoped, so there is still hope for Hinchelwood, but I'm just happy he's a rotational. I'm not going to sell him. But somebody I am going to sell is Cole Deeming off to the Saudi League. This is where the moves are going to get massive here. I'm going to sell Mads Hermansen. I couldn't say no to 54 mil. We can put some serious money into bringing in the world's best goalkeepers. But before we do that, I'm going to follow the Hinchelwood playbook. Belgian left midfielder Mbangaloo heading on loan for the year to Bologna. We've got our goalkeeper, lads. He's going to be entering the prime of his career, and he's going to be doing it at West Bromwich Albion. It is going to be the Belgian Lamine Hermans joining us from Juventus back into the Premier League. 47 mil. That's 4 mil less than Hermansen for somebody 2 years younger and 2 overall higher. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I've said it once, I'll say it again though. I am so frustrated with how slow we've been to be getting ourselves into Champions League football, because I genuinely think we could have been in it for the past 2 years and been competing. We're still not in it this year. And look, like players like Price, Emerson, how long are they going to want to hang around for? We have built what I believe is one of the best teams in world football. If we don't qualify for the Champions League, either through the Premier League or the Europa League, I will be fuming. Finally, it feels like we've got stuff starting to click. 1st of January, top of the league. Need to keep it going though. A lot of football still to be played. 8 points clear, most importantly, of Crystal Palace. With the money we do have though, I'm going to continue working on the squad depth. 80 overall Serbian Lazar Jovanovic is going to join us as a backup right midfielder. We held on. We held on, lads. Oh, this is beautiful. We have won a Premier League title with West Bromwich Albion, but it's not the title I'm most excited about. It is the qualification into the Champions League. Palace stay in 5th. Man City not in there. That could be great for us if they don't re-qualify next year, but we will finally be heading to the Champions League next year. And I'm going all out for it. I think we genuinely could win it next year. If you can win a Premier League, you can win a Champions League. All right, who got relegated? Tottenham down in 10th. Wolves, Burnley, Southampton. Unfortunately, we lost the Community Shield at the start of the season. Newcastle won the FA Cup. We went out in the quarterfinals to Burnley, which feels like a massive miss as the defending champions. Newcastle also won the Carabao Cup. We went out in the semi-finals there. So close to a domestic treble, or technically a domestic quad if you count the League Cup as well, rather the Community Shield. Villarreal made the Champions League final where they lost to Borussia Dortmund, but we stunk it up in the Europa League. 2 wins, 4 draws, 2 losses. We sneak into the playoffs. Oh, my confidence is not high for a run here. Playoffs, we destroy Hammarby 6-1. Round of 16, we scrape past Anderlecht. We are into the quarterfinals where we beat AZ Alkmaar. All right, it looks like we're peaking at the right time. Semi-finals, we beat Frankfurt. We are into a Europa League final where we win the damn thing. We have qualified for the Champions League 2 separate ways. Europa League champions and Premier League champions. Oh, that is really reassuring. Oh my god, and then that is a star-studded Conference League final. Real Madrid winning the Conference League. What has happened there? But look, when you win the Europa League and the Premier League, you expect to see some pretty good statistics put up here, and that has definitely happened. Mattia Fregan with 40 goals, Emerson 28, and Bazumana Toure in his first year gets 46 goal contributions. The lads are on fire. We have to be one of the favorites to win the Champions League next year. Tamrabani, the Jordanian, will not be joining us for that mission though. There will be no stone left unturned this year, lads. I want to make sure we have depth, quality depth at every position on the park, because I want us making sure that if we do have injuries or suspensions on a Champions League run, that doesn't leave us unstuck. Backup goalkeeper, 84 rated from the recently relegated Wolves side, Dennis Seaman. To be fair, I'm loving ripping into these relegated and championship sides, taking the best players out of these clubs. We've got an American right back. Now we have a backup American left back, Caleb Wiley from Burnley. Charlie Hughes providing some cover at the centre back position. And finally, we're kind of balling out at the striker position. This is huge. Like, this guy could start for basically every other Premier League club. He could start for us if we don't win a Champions League in the next few years. 25 years of age, 84 overall, Svetkovic, Mihajlo Svetkovic. He is a stud. Like, the starting 11, we knew it's unbelievable. It stays the same. But then where things get really good now, look how good the bench is. And Bangala comes back and he knows he's a rotational player. Hinshelwood knows he's a rotational player. All these guys know their role. The lowest rated player in the entire squad is 73 rated Jacob Farrell. We are so due for a Champions League title, it isn't even funny. But we are finally getting the opportunity. Even the opportunity is crazy that this is our first opportunity. We are the Europa League champions. We are the Premier League champions. Let's see who we verse on a potential path to becoming Champions League champions. September, we host Copenhagen. Then we travel to Rome. October, we travel to Belgium. So far, so good. Hosting Jagiellonia. I expect things are going to get very, very difficult for the rest of it. Leipzig away. December, we host Frankfurt, who we've beaten in the Europa League. January, away against Parma. And finally, the toughest matchup is hosting Atletico Madrid. Dude, if we are not in the top 8 automatic spots, I am going to be shocked. Come on. Come on. Arsenal top with no losses, but we finish second. Serge Gnabry must be proud right now. But bro, we are automatically into the round of 16. Things are looking good. We sit back and wait and see who we're versing. Hopefully not Real Madrid. Things also going decently, but not ideal in the Premier League. 9 draws is pretty brutal, dude. Real Madrid is still there. They've got PSG though. We are versing Slavia Praha, Sparta Prague in the round of 16 of the Champions League. Oh, that feels like a good opportunity, bro. Probably the weakest team remaining in the tournament. Bit of adversity though. Freegan is out for the next 8 days with a torn calf muscle. I'm feeling very justified now in bringing in Vetkovic. Diouf up to a 90 now, which is absolutely insane. And Sano, I was worried about how slow he was starting. 88 overall for him. First leg away in the Czech Republic, which we win 3-1. Jovanovic off the bench scores. Vetkovic, Emerson, perfect. That is a good start. We could get Freegan a starting spot here, but he's like able to play, but I don't want to risk it when we're 3-1 up, so we're going to give another start for Vetkovic. Let's hope that we don't bottle it here. We're at home at the Hawthorns, round of 16, trying to get ourselves into the quarterfinals with West Bromwich Albion, which we do. It's another 3-1 victory. Diouf with the yellow card, though, which I'm hoping isn't going to hurt us, but we are comfortably into the quarterfinals. Oh, things get real here now though, fellas. We've got Barcelona in the quarterfinals. Okay, Freegan is back. No suspension to Diouf. We're working with our full strength starting 11 right now, but we are on the road, so honestly, our team is unreal. This might be a loser mindset, but I just want us to get something to work with back at home. Let's get ourselves back to the Hawthorns. 1-1 draw will do. That'll do me just fine. A couple of yellow cards for both sides. See if that plays negatively for anybody. Okay, boys, it has not affected us negatively. Heaven is into the starting 11, which is a huge victory for us already. Can we get the job done on the park, though? We have to beat Barcelona at the Hawthorns, which we do. We do it late, but we do it. Come on, West Brom. I just know these feelings. Emerson scores 84th minute. Hutchinson yellow card, but we are heading to the semifinals. Barcelona, you're out. Oofed, okay. Okay. PSG versus Arsenal in the other semi-final. We've been drawn PSV Eindhoven. That is... I'm happy about it, I guess. I mean, what's their team look like? They got some decent career mode guys, but nobody that stands out as like world-class, insane wonder kids. Like Jimenez and Højlund are really the 2 stars, Van Bommel. I'm feeling fortunate at this moment. Unlike the first leg against Barcelona, where I just wanted to give us something to work with, I want us to almost put this to bed in the first leg. I want us to absolutely dominate PSV and guarantee our spot. It's not putting them to bed, but it is a win. Isaac Price with a brace. We now have to defend this lead as we head to the Netherlands. Could we have had a bigger lead coming into this second leg? Yes, but I'm always grateful to take a lead in the Champions League in these rebuilds. PSV probably looking at us being like, okay, I'm happy to verse West Brom, but I'm definitely feeling that way against them. Let's get the job done and book West Brom a spot in a Champions League final. We'll take it. It's a 2-2 draw. It's not the most convincing result in the world, but we get the job done at the end of the day. And we're going to be versing either Arsenal or PSG in a Champions League final. Okay, Arsenal won their tie, so it's going to be an all-English affair between first and second in the final. First versus second, an all-English affair. Bring it on. A look around the grounds. Bologna win the Europa League. Monaco win the Conference League. I swear the Conference League has been balling out with some big-name finals. This is reassuring, though. We are back in the Champions League next year. Unable to defend our league title, but we do finish third. And most importantly, finishing above Arsenal. Trying to get all the mental games over them. Relegated down. I swear the same team's getting relegated. We rewrote the wrongs of last year, though, winning the Community Shield this year. Unfortunately, we lost the FA Cup to Man City, and United won the Carabao Cup. Oh yeah, we were in the Super Cup as well, weren't we? Let's see how we went in that one. We beat Dortmund on penalties. Okay, so we've won 2 trophies. Both of them were preseason games, but I don't care. I'm counting it. This is a run for a treble. This has been such a weird rebuild, though. And we are so overdue for a Champions League run. It's our first year in the Champions League, but we could have easily been here and competing for the past 3 years, which makes me very excited to use Emerson, to use Toure, and to use Isaac Price. Bring it on. West Brom versus Arsenal. See if we can get something here. They're stepping up too high. Toure's running through here. got many options. I might just have to go with Toure unless I can get it across. We get it across, bro. How do we even get the shot off? Good footy this. Bro, we're looking so dangerous down this left-hand side. Get the overlap over the top. Friggin'. Why are we taking so many touches, but we get it off? David Raya should have met us out there. We took one too many touches. He could have easily smothered it. But bro, this left-hand side, we're 15 minutes in, and we are killing Arsenal down this left-hand side. Bro, heaven has been everywhere. You could say he's been moving heaven and earth. Oh, poor pass, intercepted. Hutchinson, 2-0 to start the second half. Arsenal with an absolute stinker. This isn't going to go down as the most exciting Champions League final, but right now I don't care because we hold a 2-0 lead. Bro, I want to see who intercepted that one because that was an absolute steal. That looked like an NBA point guard steal. Just absolutely pick their pocket. Great through ball and a great finish, Hutchinson. Friggin' going there to Hutchinson, trying to get a ball in. It's taking a deflection. That's 3-0. Emerson gets a brilliant goal. We are destroying Arsenal. Absolutely destroying them. I don't think they've had a shot. Do not give them a way back into it. Kai Havertz. Oh my days. That is an absolute peach of a finish from Kai Havertz. 15 minutes to go. I'm about to park the bus. An absolute goal fest here. We knew this West Brom team was dialed. We knew they were primed for a Champions League run, but holy hell, seeing it in action, seeing it in reality is even sweeter. An absolute roller coaster of a rebuild, but seeing it pan out this way has been so damn satisfying. Aiden Heaven, a mainstay during this, and now our captain as we crown West Brom European champions. Lads, if you enjoyed this rebuild, make sure you leave a like on the video, click here to subscribe, and click here to check out another video.